Why, but
All right, finna go ahead and get started. What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, featuring the special guest I was talking about, KJ23. You already know what time it is. For the people that do not know you, KJ, make sure you go ahead and give an introduction. Man. Give
you
an
already
introduction.
know KJ23 back in the building, second time here. Thank you, champ, for bringing me back on. If you guys don't know me, I'm Caden Jarrett, aka KJ23. I have my own YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? It's just KJ space 23.
Yes, sir. Make sure you tap in with that for sure. I also have it in the description of the chat as well. And then this is the second time that I've had somebody on the season 2 of the Life of a Champ podcast. So with that being said, KJ, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and sign that back thing right over there. You see it?
Where they-
Where Anthony signed.
Yeah.
Make sure you go ahead and sign that real quick, young man. Because like I said, I'm trying to have like some type of physical thing that I can have that no one else can have that is going to be a contribution to the podcast. So if you want to go ahead and do that right now,
I got to my headphones off.
thank God. Okay.
Thank God it made the noise.
That's what I'm saying. That's okay. Yeah, we're gonna get it started. So the topic for today's podcast is a good one for sure. Josh, appreciate for tapping in. Topic is how to gain the respect of others. Now, this is a very, very big topic because I do believe more than ever, there's a lot more men that truly do not have the respect of other men. Like I said, in literally history, I would say. So we're going to give you guys the advice that we would suggest in order if you're a person maybe struggling with gaining the respect of others. We'll definitely inform you on the information that our past selves wish we would have had in those certain moments. So yeah, whenever KJ is done, we'll actually get it rocking. But a few things I want to mention. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on TikTok. Just Life of a Champ podcast on TikTok. Also, make sure you go ahead and follow me, or make sure you go ahead and follow me on Twitch as well. And make sure you go ahead and leave a like on my YouTube shorts as well as my YouTube clips. If you can't catch the full podcast but still want to get the game, make sure you go ahead and tap in with that for sure. And then KJ,
There you go. Sign it. Sign it, bro.
all right, fine. All right, it's cool.
Let's go, boy.
All right, cool.
A little note. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, like I said, the topic for today's podcast is how to earn the respect of others. Right. Do you before we get into any of that, do you have anything that you want to say, like when it comes to maybe the gaining the respect of others, maybe a struggle that you see?
Gain respect. Okay, the struggle I had though, because I'm still going through this right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not over till it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
This is a grind. This is a journey. You know what I'm saying? Everything keeps going on. So there's no ending to it. You're always going to want to go on a higher level and keep getting more respect from people. But at least I've gotten like more respect from people now than I did back in high school about like 3 years ago, because I was just a clown, bro. Like I didn't really know what situation I was getting in. I would always just be like I would always just say yes to anybody and just be a people pleaser all the time, and just didn't really like take my best interest into myself, into what I was worth, and then just got started taking advantage of. So
For sure. And like I said, I feel like that's a struggle, unfortunately, that a lot of people can relate with. And like I said, something that must be corrected over time. KJ's came a long way. I've known him for years now. He's came a long way, and like I said, we're going to give you the advice that we wish we had back in the day. So this is going to be the number one piece of advice that I will ever give on this podcast, time and time again. And KJ, you know what? You already know what time it is. Go ahead and let him know, man. Go ahead and let him know. The first point, right here. Here you go.
you gotta have a good physique and structure. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? This is
Let him
why.
know. Let him know.
This is why I knew back in the day I didn't go. This is a fault that I've had for the longest time. I didn't go to the gym in high school until the end, till like when I was a senior,
Okay.
and no excuses. You know what I'm saying? It should not be an excuse, because even though I didn't have a car, I had access to a gym, but I just didn't go to the gym. It's just certainly because I don't know. I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. But you always gotta go to the gym. Not only does it make you have a physique on the outside, but it will make you feel better mentally right here. So
Yeah, for sure, and I would definitely agree with that for sure. It is what I deem to be an essential part of a person who's truly living the best life that they possibly can. If you do not have any physical exercise at all, whether like I said it's lifting weights or like I said just being physically active, I do believe that it's going to be a true fault, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, if you look at a person, right, and this is kind of how we based the podcast off of, right? If you look at a person that truly does not get the respect of others, I feel like one of the main things one of the main factors that is common within those people that do not get enough respect is they truly lack the physical representation of self-discipline, which is obviously, building a good physique. And usually when you think of somebody who people like, I would say disrespect, but people who are a little bit more easy to go ahead and disrespect, those people typically do not have the strongest builds. Are usually very, very scrawny or very, very fat, if I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, like KJ had mentioned, right, having that good physique and having that good stature is definitely going to help you gain respect. And I feel like it's not even so much of like a conscious thing. It's more of like an unconscious thing. Like I said, you're less likely to want to mess with a guy who builds himself up, right? Would you agree with that?
Exactly that too. And the reason why I go to gym is not because it's just like the physical on the outside too. Because the gym will help you with discipline, like a long way. Because all these times, I have to go to the gym in the morning, like set these type of things. I always went to the gym in the morning first thing when I was a beginner. I would always make myself go to the gym every morning, 6 a.m. sharp. And the reason why I did that is because it would just set me up for like all the other things I would be able to do throughout my day, and it would make my day a whole lot better. Just knowing that I did it, like I actually did it, you know what I'm saying? And, instead of just procrastinating and doing things that would not make me a better person in the long run. So,
Nope, I would definitely agree. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those things that it has to be an essential. And like I said, if you're a person right now watching this that truly doesn't feel like they're getting the respect that they deserve, if you look at your body, maybe your body is not a visual representation of self-discipline and something that's truly not respectable. And that's okay for the time being right now, but unfortunately, that's something that you're going to have to change, and something that is within your ability to go ahead and change. And I feel like a lot of people who truly get that disrespect, they like I said, they truly feel hopeless, unfortunately. And that is just going to be one of these many elements that we'll mention on today's podcast. But I do believe to be probably one of the most foundational pieces that people need when it comes to just getting the respect of others. Because obviously, like I had mentioned earlier, right? If you walk into a room and there's a bunch of scrawny people, right? Are you really gonna, or a bunch of fat people? Are you really gonna give them truly the conscious respect that they deserve, or are you going to, if you go walk into a room of a bunch of men who have built themselves up and who's, you can tell, have spent hours and hours in the gym, you're gonna walk into that room with an unconscious level of different respect. Let's just keep it 1,000. I'm not saying you would disrespect the scrawny people or disrespect the fat people not necessarily, but I do believe that when you walk into a room with people who've worked on themselves for hours and hours on end, you're automatically going to come with a different respect. Like I said, even if you're empathetic with those people who are scrawny or who are overweight, at the end of the day, you're going to have a different respect for those type of people for sure. Anthony, appreciate you for stopping by. Like I said, Josh, appreciate you for stopping by. GDP, appreciate you for stopping by. Jaden, appreciate you for stopping by. All y'all coming in at the same time.
Let's go, Chad. Let's go.
Appreciate y'all. And getting into the next point, which I do believe is also an essential part of truly getting the respect and keeping the respect of the people, right? GDP says something.
Tap in. What's up, KJ? Salute. Hey.
Yes, sir.
GDP.
Yes, sir. GDP tapped in.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. All right. So yeah, like I said, this another element that I recognize that people who truly do not get the respect that they want. One of the things that I've seen is they don't exactly. They're too quick to take the disrespect. They accept it, and I feel like this is an entire mindset that kind of goes with it, right? If you're getting disrespected and you allow it to happen, if you don't say something and if you don't stand up for yourself, people are going to do it over and over again, right? And the way that the example that I always like to use is like, let's just say the kid that you used to, I'm not gonna say bully back in high school, but let's just say we've always had those clowns, like KJ had mentioned, right? We always have those clowns that just wanted to fit in, that would do anything to fit in, even if that's literally taking a hit of their respect as a man, right? Just for the overall environment of just having a good time, right? There's always that one guy that takes the hit, but the reason that character takes the hit is simply because he doesn't stand up for himself, and he allows it to happen over and over again, just so he can fit in. I would much rather have my own respect and have my own dignity within myself, and have a time by my own self than I would to be that class clown, or to be that person that is truly taking the disrespect instead of saying something. Fun. Why do you have to put his last name too, Anthony? You fucking idiot, dude, for that. Come on now, buddy. Yes, he was definitely that kid. You're right. Of course. I don't know why you had to name him. Why you got to name drop him? That's crazy.
That's the thing.
You should have just said Sean G. Come on now.
Exactly. Now I was too though. Like that's the thing you guys gotta learn from it. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can really like change yourself, bro. Because I used to be a class clown all the time, but I had enough of it. And like after high school, eventually I learned about it. But you know what I'm saying? Now where they at? You know what I'm saying? Now where the people at, bro? They're not talking.
Yes,
They're
sir.
not
Yes, sir.
talking no more.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
sir.
Like we're not in high school no more. So it's just we're an adult. We're adults now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We're just adults. You know, learn how to manage your emotions. You feel me?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
what it is.
And then getting into the next point of what it would take to truly earn the respect of your peers. And this is the one KJ had mentioned. If you want to explain it, you can go and explain it right here.
Just take criticism. Like learn to like take criticism. By taking criticism, meaning taking suggestions from them that could actually better yourself with life. And maybe they might say it in a mean way, like a mean type of way, but I learned from that as it's just trying to help me. People have been help like try to help me, you know what I'm saying? Um it might be hard to tell who's real and who's fake nowadays, but the real people would always just it would it's because like people would always just be on my side if they were the real ones, bro. The fake ones just wouldn't like they wouldn't really care and put meaning into that. So that's what it is. But then not taking respect, um, not taking disrespect. My bad. But yeah, don't take disrespect because if you take the disrespect, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna feel weak. You're gonna be a weakling towards the people, and they're just gonna keep going on you and going in, and there's not gonna they don't care. No one cares, man.
That's true. That is true.
In life, nobody really cares about you except you. But
And one thing I want to
yeah,
say as
that's how you
well is people, some of those people that truly get that disrespect, they don't understand the difference between criticism and actual disrespect, and they kind of conflate those two,
exactly.
unfortunately. And you must be very very careful and very very thorough when it comes to truly analyzing whether this is criticism or constructive criticism or whether this is straight up disrespect, because a lot of the time uh, maybe some of those people will just talk to you any way that they would like, and it is truly disrespectful, even if it's coming from a place of constructive criticism. If it is disrespect, like I said, calling that out and saying, "Hey, I'm not okay with you talking to me like that." Like you can talk to somebody else like that, but you're definitely not gonna talk to me like that. And even taking a stand. And I do believe that this is something that you probably should think about before you go ahead and do it, because if you do it and you put yourself in an awkward position, it's probably not going to be ideal. But if you're able to handle yourself and prepare yourself mentally for those specific moments where you're going to need to confront somebody about the disrespect or about the um, I would say, oh yeah, I would say the disrespect, even in the form of criticism. I do believe that as long as you practice, I would say practice, but as long as you think out how the scenario could potentially play out, I do believe you're going to be in a better position than most people when it comes to handling the disrespect, and also more importantly handling it in a mature manner, because most people, it'll either escalate, either they'll do it and then they'll get broken down, or it will just escalate to something physically. If you're able to do it in a mature manner, and hopefully that person also respects you enough to understand that you're not taking that disrespect, so therefore they'll respect you more by respecting your wishes, which, like I said, hopefully is a result of that for sure. Anthony said, "I was the class clown, but I was never the clown of the class." Basically, he's just a goofy motherfucker. Nobody disrespected him, but he's just goofy as hell. That's all he was. But yeah. So do you have anything you want to add to that?
Nah, it's just because Anthony wouldn't take no disrespect from me. That's the
Exactly.
reason, bro. Anthony wouldn't take no disrespect from anyone. So that's what you gotta learn. It's just that yeah, disrespect is basically when they're just talking down on you, and that's just what it is. And like criticism is just basically suggestions that they're trying to give you to better yourself. It's just that I don't know. Like that's why I think in my definition, yeah. But that's just what I think about, and that's how I just learn to manage it. And sometimes if I learn to take criticism, if I get mad, when I start to get mad, I just take a deep breath and I just go for a walk. That's what I started doing instead of just lashing out, because I used to lash out like a lot. By not taking criticism and just getting mad at everything. But I learned that wasn't the key, because it wouldn't lead to nowhere. It wouldn't lead to um just being smart or any like just like trying to learn, because that's what this life is about. Life is about learning new things.
I would agree. Yeah, get a little closer to the mic real quick.
I got you.
You're all good. And then yeah, which kind of brings us to our next point, which is being stoic to an extent. I believe like he had mentioned, he used to like emotionally lash out, whether this was anger or sadness or whatever it was. Being a person who's controlled and tame in those situations, even where you potentially could get triggered, I do believe that's gonna garner a certain level of respect because most people are not able to keep their cool. Well, I wouldn't say most people, but there's a lot of people who truly, when put in those types of situations, they're not able to control themselves. Um, but yeah, that's gonna garner some respect because they're kind of expecting a certain reaction out of somebody, especially people that are trying to, like I said, they're literally trying to hurt you. If it doesn't hurt you, they're automatically going to be taken aback because they were expecting you to act a certain way and you didn't act that way. And I feel like that's automatically gonna make them take a step back and have a quick moment of self reflection and said and say that to themselves, I'm not, I shouldn't be talking to this person this way, right? And obviously that goes hand in hand with getting that respect. Josh said he was a class clown as well. Fair enough, fair enough. Some people take disrespect because they fear people won't like them. What they don't realize is that he has another point to that. Shout out to Anthony, of course.
Shout out, man. Shout out to Anthony, man.
Yeah, well, we're kind of responding to that. Obviously, he hasn't finished his point, but
Yeah.
you never want to compromise your value just for the validation of others. Never do that.
Yeah.
Never do that. Never value your morals and your foundational values just to be liked. Like I said, that's not something I will ever do on this podcast. I will never sell myself out in those specific ways
Exactly.
just to get some type of validation from others. I would rather just keep it solid. And you see unfortunately a lot of people doing that, and I feel like that needs to be called out more. This is why I'm making this podcast. You see a lot of people that will compromise their own values and own morals. Maybe it's for a dollar amount. Maybe they'll shut their mouth and won't say an opinion they truly believe, or what's another example? Or they just truly won't be themselves because they're afraid of the judgment that somebody will have, and I feel like that's truly unhealthy, right? You need to be exactly who you are, and some people are gonna like you, and some people aren't gonna like you, and that's just life in general, right? If they already disrespected you, then they clearly didn't like you in the first place. Exactly, exactly. And of course, like I had mentioned, me, Anthony, KJ, we all mess around. We all talk. I won't say in a disrespectful manner. It's something that's uniquely to men, I would say. Um, well, we'll just say something. We'll just say something like, "Oh, KJ's a bitch," right?
We're just joking around.
But it's
Just
actually
joking
just but it's
around.
actually just jokes. It's actually
We're
just
joking
jokes.
around. Like that's a difference. There's a
Mm,
difference between that crossing the lines
exactly.
instead of like just actually, like going in on somebody calling them that. But
And
like
yeah,
it's
you
just
gotta you
jokes,
gotta
man.
you gotta understand the difference between somebody calling you a bitch and it's just a joke, or somebody calling you a bitch and they're actually serious about it, right? You need to be very very careful with that, and be able to distinguish very very quickly whether somebody's actually, are they laughing with you or are they laughing at you, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, Anthony's exactly right. If they feel the need to disrespect you, then they clearly didn't like you in the first place. Therefore, you should not even be associating with those type of people, anyways. So, I would say it's just as simple as that. And going into the next point of what it takes to maintain and actually garner the respect of others is knowing when to say no. And I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with the point we just made. But knowing when to say no and also not being a yes man is very very important because you clearly set a boundary for where you're not trying to get past, right? You clearly set something in stone and saying, hey, you know, maybe this would work on another person, but as of right now, I'm not willing to do this, and I'm not willing to move from my stance on this. And I feel like a lot of people that truly, unfortunately, get disrespected the most are the ones that truly say yes to everything, even if internally even if them doing it truly causes internal conflict, they'll still do it anyways. So, like I said, for you, for example, if you're watching this and you're a person that gets disrespected, right? If you feel any type of internal conflict that you're not exactly expressing, you need to express it because truly that means there's something that is wrong that you're not willing to address. And if you're not willing to address it, then your mind's automatically going to think that's not important when in reality it actually is important. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So basically, that's what this was basically what like he said. I always used to like back in high school, just like even like coming up 2022, I'd always say yes for like literally even the dumbest stuff. Sometimes like when people would get me to do stuff and for like for nothing in return, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that, or just like just trying to mess with me, I would always just say yes, just because just because I thought I was a kind person. But no, that's not what it is. Like it's literally just them taking advantage of you. And going back to the last point actually about about that social media thing, but a lot of people just not genuine. You gotta be genuine, bro. Like like to your own morals and values. Just like literally what you believe in, you gotta stick to it. You can't switch just because of something or someone told you, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like no, just be you, be in your zone. People will like you more actually if you're just yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you stick to your role, if you
Yeah, you gotta stand on your shit. You gotta stand on
exact
your shit.
follow your purpose, follow your dreams, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
'Cause
Yes, sir.
people might not they might not believe in that certain thing, but they'll at least respect you more if you actually stick to it and grind instead of just switching up.
Yep, I agree. Let me read some of these comments real quick. We always got to talk our shit. The difference is the intention behind the words. I would agree. I don't know the origin of this issue, but it doesn't seem present in women. Seems like a societal issue. I would say that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. That's something that men need to deal with, truly. I like I said, I don't see that problem prevalent within women to women interactions. Do you?
Not really.
Not really. I would agree. And going back to what I want to say, and I heard about this recently. That's why I needed to mention it on the podcast, right? Um, we mentioned like, let's just say calling your friend, like I said, an insult, but you truly do not mean it, right? That's something that's uniquely only to men, right? You never see a woman, or rarely you see a woman, say something. I won't say disrespectful, but jokingly disrespectful. It rarely happens. It rarely happens in the world of women. But yeah, give me 1 second. Um, yeah, I want to mention this. I want to mention this one thing, and I feel like this is very, very important. With truly understanding men in general, right? This is something I mentioned in a previous podcast before, but like I said, I see it to be relevant, so therefore I need to mention this again. When it comes to evaluating men and their value hierarchy of how they truly value their own values, their own personal, um, yeah, their own personal foundations. Above everything else, a man wants respect. Would you agree with that?
Exactly. That's just like the number one thing. Cause even I was talking to about Champ earlier. Like I was thinking when I was at work today, I was always I was just on my mind. It just came up, and even though it was from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, like I was still thinking about it because it's about life, man. That's the thing. Like throughout life, like the number one thing for a man is just like getting respect and getting like what he deserves. But in order to do that, you can't just like walk up and expect respect. You know what I'm saying? You gotta earn it. You gotta earn respect. You gotta earn your stripes. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, we're making this podcast today just to we're giving you guys game. That's what we're trying to do. We're giving you guys game.
Yes, sir. I do believe when it comes to just like getting the respect of others in general, I feel like what it comes down to is just getting those private victories. And if you don't know what a private victory is, I can describe it real quick. A private victory is going to be the work that you put in that no one sees, right? Building the character that would be respectable, especially when no one sees as well. And a public victory is basically the
Materialistic, like the materialistic types thing.
yeah,
I think,
the
right?
compounding,
Yeah.
the visual representation of compounded private victories. That's exactly
Yeah.
what a public victory is. And in order to get those, which might even be a public victory, might even be the respect of others, right? That
Mhm.
might be a public victory in its own right. But the only way to get that is if you stack your private victories. Which, like I said, a lot of those people, if you look at the people that get disrespected, those people do not. They don't have any private victories. They don't. They're not respectable people. Let's just keep it 1,000. Let's just say, for example, all they do is just play video games all day. That's it. How could you ever expect somebody to respect you if you're not putting in the work on yourself, right? You're not creating a respectable individual. So therefore, you can't get mad for people disrespecting you because you don't even respect yourself enough to make the change for yourself, right?
Exactly. That's how it was in high school. In high school, I would always be like, "Oh, like why is this happening? Why is it happening?" And I would never question myself. Like I would never like. I would always just keep going and expect people to just start jumping. Like just be like, "Oh, like this dude he's hot right now. Like he's the best." But no, like it never happened because I didn't think about myself clearly. I didn't take myself seriously. And like it always starts with you. That's the thing. It always starts with you. Not with anybody else. Nobody else can fix your problems. It all starts with you. You gotta just sit there one day and just decide like what is it gonna do to change? What am I gonna do to change today? Like that's what I've been doing for like the longest time now. Just I would always like sometimes take these 2 hour like I don't know it doesn't matter the time, but basically all I'm saying I would have no electronics. I would either go on a walk and just sit in my room for like in the dark, just saying, with a piece of paper and a pen and a little light, so I can see and just write stuff down that I need to like work on, and just like, oh, how can I fix this? How can I fix that? So that's why I've been doing it, and it's been working for me pretty much ever since.
Yeah, like I said, that's something that I would definitely recommend for people to go ahead and do. Like I said, take the time to self-reflect, because everybody needs to self-reflect at the end of the day. If you don't, if you feel the need not to self-reflect, automatically you probably need it more than the average person. Just straight off rip, right? Just straight off rip. But I want to get into another element of becoming a respectable individual, and I feel like this is going to socially this is going to bode very very well for you, because I truly do not see this enough, and I still see people lacking this shit at the end of the day, right? In order to gain the respect of others, you must present yourself in a truly presentable way, and the way you could do this is by maybe dressing a certain way, or maybe being well kept, maybe having your hygiene in order. Like I said, brushing your teeth, just the basic things. Brushing your teeth, making sure you're using deodorant, making sure you have well fitted clothes, putting on cologne, just natural basic level upkeep. Unfortunately, I don't see enough people doing that to the fullest extent that they possibly can, and I do believe that's automatically gonna garner the respect of other people. And like I said, if you know that one guy that you probably work with who probably doesn't smell the best, you're like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, in your free time, what are you doing? Like, do you even have? Why aren't you doing the basic things that you know everybody should be doing, right? And of course, those people you can't even give them the full respect, because truly, they don't respect themselves enough to be well kept. So like I said, how could you ever expect respect if you're not even putting in enough work on yourself? Like I said, with just basic maintenance of your own personal character. So that's what I'm saying. What do you think about that, KJ?
Exactly, because I worked with someone today. And that's what I was talking about. I talked to you about this guy I worked with today, and he was just like, he wouldn't go. Like, I was just suggesting, it was a criticism. Like, I was just suggesting, like, hey, why don't you want to go to, like, you should just go to the gym and stuff like that. But I didn't mention that he smelled too. Like I couldn't, like, really, I had to stand like 5 feet away from him. Not 5 feet, but I just had to stand a little bit back, because he did like smell a little bit, and you know what I'm saying. I was like, I kind of did tell him, like, yo, you should probably just, like, find some deodorant or something. I was like, it's like a little like slick. But the thing is, you don't have to be. And another point right here is, you don't have to be like all out with it. Do not get no designer. Like, I see people like back in high school, especially,
Mm-hmm.
they'd always have like, I don't know, like MCM backpacks. They would always have like just designer stuff, and it would just be like so flashy with it. And like, it would be like, to me it looked uncool. I don't like designer, because it just looks, it's bad. They design it so bad. Like, it's designer, but the design is bad. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I just don't understand. It's just because of the name and the branding.
So yeah, what you're
Yeah.
saying is basically, it doesn't matter specifically what the brand name is. It just matters if it truly looks good on you. I feel like that's
Exactly.
kind of the message that you're trying to
Exactly. Like,
portray. I feel
exactly.
like a lot of people, yeah, like you had mentioned, a lot of people get caught up in the hype, and they try to get that social validation by wearing, like you said, those designer brands. But unfortunately, you don't need that to be respectable. You don't need
No.
those certain things to be respectable. And I feel like a lot of people's self worth comes from those materialistic aspects of their character. And unfortunately, like I said, you don't need those. You don't need all those things to be a respectable individual. As long as you have a solid foundation of the basics, you should be fine. You should be
Exactly.
fine.
Like, it's
Um,
your. Oh, my bad. Were you saying
now go
something?
ahead. That's you.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, for like just regular care. Bro, I just go to Walgreens, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I just be getting my like facial moisturizer, like, just something like body wash, bro, deodorant, cologne, maybe. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just like do the basics. Just basics is good enough, and for those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Usually being basic is not good, but like, for this type of thing, I would suggest it, because you're not really breaking the bank, and you're still on track with taking care of yourself. So it's not like that's not a basic thing in today's society. Like, not a lot of people really do that. You know what I'm saying? So I would just start getting on that. You know what I'm saying? Just do that, and then, yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. Like, also, to really build that confidence, and to like present yourself in a way, people think design is the way, but like, no, bro. It's just having accomplishments set for yourself, and then like having stuff that you're disciplined for and keep going for every day. That's what's gonna build the respect, and that's what's gonna build the confidence in yourself to present yourself, to put yourself out there for others to see. That's what I really think about it.
Yeah, and I would much rather have the like I said the foundation. I would much rather have the foundation as opposed to these flashy things because
Exactly.
if you just have the flashy things and no foundation, ultimately you're still going to be weak because the foundation that you built it on, even though it might look good on the outside, it truly has a lot of cracks within the foundation. But now, if you build yourself up, the foundation is very very strong, and of course, and then eventually you get to the point maybe where you maybe want to get in designer brands now you truly are the representation of what you want to look like as opposed to just acting as if you are like that when you're really not, right? Like I said, if you have any comments, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment if you are watching right now. If you have any questions when it comes to just gaining the respect of others, like I said, maybe it's a personal question that you have, I want you to go ahead and leave them in the comments. But just give me 1 second. All right. All right. I'll get into the next.
Wait, I got some. Okay, can I say something?
You got it. You got it.
All right, so basically, just to go back on that topic about the designer thing, because like this was when I was in high school too. Like I think this was 12th grade, so not a long time ago for me, probably about a year and a half ago. But I went shopping, and this was when my friend got me into like sneakers and all that stuff. You know, sneakers and how much they be costing. It was not a good look for me, bro. Like I'm gonna tell you guys this straight up, and to be honest, I spent so much money on like jerseys and all that stuff, and I know it's like not designer like Gucci or anything. I don't have Gucci. I don't have a piece of Gucci or Dior or anything like that. But like all the jerseys, all the shoes, like all the like the expensive stuff from the mall, like that adds up, and like that's my biggest mistake I probably ever made was just buying all that stuff instead of just investing into myself.
Yeah, and I have a question with that as well, and I feel like this probably could resonate with some people as well. When you did all those things, did you truly do it for you, or did you do it for the other people around you?
Other people. That was easy.
Exactly.
That was easy. I truly because I liked them, but I wanted the validation. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you guys. Like this is like that's why like I'm telling you guys. But like if you guys make that mistake, it's okay. But just learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't beat yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Like I did for a while, but I came back and I'm doing better now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And like I had mentioned, right? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for other people, right?
Yeah.
The second that if you even have the slightest inclination without even saying it that you're doing it for other people, make sure you lock back in, fellas, because you're locked out. You need to be doing the things for yourself. If you like designer brand outside of the validation that you potentially can get, outside of the compliments that you can get, then do it, right? Like I said, if you know me, I don't wear anything too flashy. If I get compliments, I get compliments. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm dressing for myself. I want to look good for myself. That's what it comes down to. And anything else is extra. And that's the same way that you should kind of go about your own type of respect. Like I said, don't go for the validation. Go for whatever makes you you, and go from there, man. Anthony had a good comment as well. He said, one of the counterintuitive traps that people fall into is that they try too hard to gain people's respect, and in doing so, lose respect because they seem as pushovers. It's important to find a balance, and I would completely agree with that point right there. What do you have to say to that, KJ?
I would say it is too, because like that's more of like just not being yourself, and just more like a flexing type thing. I feel like it's more like just like flexing the stuff that you don't have. I feel like, in my opinion, because that's like what kind of like it is. Like all like that like flashiness on social media, because that's what got me into it, to be honest. It's like social media and society and all that. But yeah, man, like honestly, I don't know, like that's just like it got me messed up. But you know what I'm saying, and that comment right there from Anthony, man, shout out to Anthony for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because it was like, yeah, basically, exactly. I don't know, I just felt pressured by that. So
yeah, like I said, it's sadly a trap. Exactly like
trap.
Anthony described. It's pretty much a trap. So don't fall for the trap. Recognize the trap exists, and then move accordingly. Right. Getting into the next point when it comes to earning the respect of others, and I feel like this is going to be a thing that people kind of sense, and this is something that I sensed kind of changed the demeanor of people who kind of approach me in their own specific way. And of course, this only goes hand in hand with people that truly know me, right? If you don't know me, then I haven't really seen this. But if you know me enough for me to talk about the podcast, I feel like people give you a different level of respect when when they know you're building something that is bigger than yourself, that you're trying to impact. You're truly trying to impact people's lives in any specific way that you're trying to do it. bringing value to them, I feel like automatically, once people start to get to know me and they get to know the purpose of me doing the podcast, automatically it's going to garner another level of respect, right? So if you're a person that truly isn't getting the respect that you deserve, start to create value for other people. Create value in any specific way that you can, and people will recognize that and people will respect that for sure. And I definitely haven't gotten any disrespect ever since starting the podcast. I haven't got any like different types of looks that weren't positive from doing this. So like I said, as long as you're building something or working towards something that's truly going to make a bigger impact, on maybe even on your current situation, people do recognize that. KJ, what do you think about that, man?
I would say so. I would agree with Champ. Definitely in this point, I would say create a bigger why. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just like maybe a financial issue or just anything, I would just say like why. And honestly, I believe in this. This is my belief. I feel like helping people is the greatest thing to ever do on earth. Like push past yourself, build yourself up, but then after you have yourself already done for, you gotta go to the rest of the people. And
Yeah,
that's why I think because oh, sorry to bother you, man.
no, y'all good, man.
But like, sorry to interrupt. But I was basically gonna say, like, that's what I'm just grateful that I'm here and I can have the opportunity to just like build myself up, and then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make sure that the people that are unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, don't have a lot of things, I'm gonna make sure they get a lot of things. And at least just go back up from the negatives to square one, you know, and then just keep building up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And one thing I want to mention as well with that I mentioned on the podcast I did on Tuesday. This is a very very big point. Give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Man, I can't believe I'm blanking right now. There's no way,
Oh, good,
bro.
bro. Just breathe a little bit. You got this, my boy.
Nah, I forgot it, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Got it?
God damn. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, fellas. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Okay. This is the point. This is the point that I wanted to make. The point that I want to make is this: sometimes building yourself up and doing it strictly for yourself isn't truly good enough, right? There's gonna be moments where if you're only doing it for yourself, there's gonna be moments where you don't have the motivation to do it, or maybe you're lacking the self-discipline to do it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, what it comes down to is this: like I said, are you building yourself up? You're building yourself up for you, but you're also building yourself up for the people around you, right? I build myself up for myself. And by building and being the best version of myself, automatically people are going to be affected by that. So I feel like that's definitely very very important when it comes to, like I said, building a greater impact for people around you. That is exactly why it's going to garner that respect, because you taking the time out of your day to work on yourself so you can also build people's lives to be better. And like I said, whether this is friends, family, whether this extends beyond that, obviously it's up to you. But ultimately, like I said, that's going to lead you back to getting that respect that. Maybe that you've been lacking, but also, like I said, it will definitely help you out if you're a person that's lacking the respect for sure. You have anything you want to add to that before we move on to the next point?
I was gonna add that, yeah, you like there's more than just building yourself up for yourself. But I was also gonna say like, for yeah, like basically just what he said. He already like explained all the marks. He put the X on the mark already. To help my family out, to have my friends, you know, build a team.
Yes, sir.
And I also like for just anybody out there who's struggling. I want to actually help the people like first. Oh my bad. I want to help the people at first with the people who struggle the exact same stuff I did with. You know what I'm saying? That's my first thing, and then just keep going from there to different audiences and just different people in general. Just want to help them out. At the end of the day.
Yeah, and I would agree. I would definitely agree. Like I said, that's ultimately should be the grand goal that everyone has with building themselves up, is just building themselves up for other people as well. It's gotta like I said, it's gotta be deeper than yourself.
Yeah, I
fellas.
gotta say something real quick. My bad, bro. And I also want to prove the haters. You know what I'm saying? I want to prove the haters wrong.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? All the people who doubted me, you know what I'm saying? No more. No more. This is like, it's the end now, bro. It's the end.
Talk your shit, KJ. Talk
You know
your
what I'm
shit,
saying?
man.
You guys not even about to fuck with me no more, bro. I freaking
Yes,
hate that
sir.
shit, bro.
Yes,
Stop.
sir.
But stop messing. Stop messing with me. Okay, I'm done.
All right, he's out and done.
Yeah.
All right, so another element that would help you get the respect of other people, and this is one that I'm surprised we haven't mentioned yet, but this is something that's, I would say it's part of a great foundation. This is going to be being a man of your word, right? If you can't, I've said this time and time again on the podcast. You must be reliable and you must be a man of your word. If you're not able to do these things, people are automatically not going to respect you. And like I said, there's going to be plenty of opportunities where you're not able to uphold your word all the time. How you go about that um, is going to say a lot about your character. If you're a person that truly, is okay with just letting your words slide, then your words are just not going to mean that much. People are not going to take you seriously. The people are going to view you as not reliable. Therefore, they're going to lack the respect for you. What do you have to say to that, KJ?
I feel like it is too because I've done that and I lost respect from people because I didn't have that like word. But then also it's also because I was just being a yes man too. So like if people like expected me to do something, but like that's kind of on the that's not on the point we're trying to say, but like in his point of being a man of your word, yeah, it's like you gotta hold up your word because people are actually counting on you. Like there's people who have that respect in you that might lose trust and like might lose respect for you because you didn't hold that promise, you didn't hold that word that you said. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they'll forgive you and sometimes they'll still believe in you and all that stuff, but you gotta do it the first time. And if you can't, you know what I'm saying, take knowledge of that.
Take accountability.
Take
Yep.
accountability, take knowledge, like, and acknowledge that, and just try to not do it next time. Just try to like actually keep your promise and keep your word. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there. And then getting into Anthony's comment, he said, "If the walk doesn't match the talk, then it's probably best just to shut the fuck up." And I would agree with that. I would agree with that for sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He also made another comment. "I always did everything for myself. Intentionally trying to please others is pointless. It only attracts fake people. You notice a lot less people fuck with you when you're genuine. But the ones that stay around are the ones that are worth keeping."
Exactly, fakers, man.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Fakers.
Come on now, yeah, come on now. We don't have those people. We don't have those people around, man. Come on.
Not in this house.
Hell no,
nowhere.
definitely not. I'm trying to think. Okay, give me 1 second. We could talk about that, but we already kind of talked about that. I'm trying to think. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, I'll say this. I'll say this next point. I feel like this is also relevant to the respect. So, in order to garner the respect of other people, you must be able to thoroughly be able to be confident with your speech. This is a huge one as well, right? KJ, I know you've been doing a lot of work in this recently, so I want you to talk about this specifically. How do you think that helps you get the respect of other people?
Exactly. So basically, what I've been at least a long time ago, back in high school, I would never read.
Okay.
I would never like do anything that is like because in school, exactly, the school systems, well, they want you to read stuff that doesn't apply. But the thing is about it is that reading and doing all this actually helped my speech become better. I was more composed and relaxed. How I'm talking right now was not like how I was 3 years ago. I would always just be too like hyper
Mm-hmm.
and just like the way I spoke was just like gibberish. It'd be like a lot of stutters,
Mm-hmm.
and I really wouldn't get my words together. So people would always come at me for that, and I take that now as like a joke because like obviously I got better, but like back then it was just like okay, like I mean I didn't really care, but like I got better though with that. That's one of the things I do credit for myself is I actually got better with my speech because I took a lot of time just reading, and even writing helps me better with my speech because every time I write I'm just like okay, what do I say now? And then obviously on my YouTube channel I'm doing this special series, try to do it every day. Gotta get locked in on that, but it's called like deep talks, and basically what these deep talks are is just I pick a topic, whatever random topic it may be that I know about, and I just talk until I don't know what to say anymore. So basically it's just like it's not like a podcast but kind of is like a podcast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely go ahead and tap in with that for sure. And like I said, he took the advice that I gave when it comes to building your speech, because like I said, I understand how important speech is. So I want to kind of get back into the point of maybe not having the best ability to speak, right? You know those people that stutter a lot, or people that really cannot capture their ideas through their words. Automatically, you're not going to be able to respect them as much because you're going to see them as maybe a little skittish or maybe a little anxious. Automatically, you're going to unconsciously have this thought about them that maybe they're not the most confident person. So therefore, For the most part, people are going to give respect to people that are confident in themselves, right? And usually, a person that's not well spoken truly doesn't always have the best confidence. So automatically, they're not going to respect you as much as they possibly could because of that reason. And I feel like not enough people talk about that, but that's definitely going to help you be more respectable if you're able to if you're able to demonstrate exactly what's going on within your mind through your speech. People will take note of that for sure, and that's super admirable quality, and something that I would say, as the days go by, is probably one of the most admirable qualities I see in people on a daily basis. Where if they're able to conduct themselves in a very very clear and concise manner when they go about their speech, automatically they're going to have a different level of respect as opposed to somebody who's maybe not the best at it. Yeah, I would say when you speak fluently, calm, and you don't I don't even know what he meant right there. Your words, it gives you a very charismatic vibe that people respect, and I would agree exactly. And like I said, when you look at it that way, like Anthony had mentioned, if you flip it, you're automatically not going to be able to give that person as much respect as they possibly could as you possibly could because they're not able to even have enough confidence to even work on that specific element. KJ, what do you think about that, man?
I would agree with you, and I would agree with the other points as well. Just because when I started learning, like when I started just doing these things and just speaking to myself and just doing these deep talks, I've definitely have improved. And I could just like whenever I would speak slowly and start, I would have a clear mind. Like I would actually like know what to say instead of just talking too fast. Because when I would always talk too fast, I feel pressured into
Mm.
saying something that like I wouldn't want to say, or just saying like the wrong thing, and would just get someone caught off guard, which is like another way like why they wouldn't like take respect in you. Maybe you could probably cross that path or something like that, and you might have said something wrong. I don't know, but I've done I've just done better now, like in my opinion, I think.
For sure. Like I said, I've definitely seen the improvement in KJ's speech, and like I said, just overall character for sure. He's definitely applied a lot of the podcast, and he's obviously taken the time by himself to, consciously work on the things that he knows he needs to work on. And like I said, it's something great. It's something great to see, man. Honestly, getting into the next point though, and something that I want to mention as well, when it comes to getting the respect of other people, and unfortunately, I don't see this enough. But usually, the people that are able to do this, you're gonna respect them more for sure. Um, is just being honest and being truthful as much as you possibly can, even if it hurts people's emotions, right? Even if it hurts somebody, you have to have this respect of people who are truly just wanting to think or wanting to say exactly what they think, right? You as opposed to just maybe withholding certain things. I feel like I personally get along better with people who just say it straight up, as opposed to are sugarcoating it. And unfortunately, I see too many people sugarcoating specific kind of the things that they want to say, and their message doesn't get across as well. And like I said, those people who are able to be honest and truthful, you automatically have to give them a level of self-respect or a level of respect, because most people are just not willing to do that, man. What do you think about that, man?
I definitely agree. It's because back then, like I wouldn't like from my experiences back then, I would lie a lot. You know what I'm saying? And then like at the moment, it didn't feel like anything. I know, like I
Come
was
on,
mad.
KJ. Come on,
I was,
KJ.
I was disappointed in myself
Pass
too.
KJ.
Don't
What are you
worry.
doing, man?
It's
Pass
the
KJ. What are you
past.
doing, man?
Yeah, past, man. It's from the past. But now as I've gotten, not even just because I've gotten older, but just because I've like learned that like, what's the point of lying, man? Like honestly, just sit up here and ask yourself, what's the point of lying? Because it's not gonna do you any good. And but even if the truth hurts, it's better than just telling up like a straight lie. And it's hard to do, especially when it's the sad truth. But that's why a lot of people don't do it, because it's just like it hurts them. But I feel like it's better than just telling up a straight lie and then having to go through the consequences later, like afterwards. So
Yeah, even if it's not the most truthful thing, it's
yeah,
still almost a lie, right?
it is a lie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a version of the lie if you can't keep it 1,000 with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's automatically going to be a respectable quality just because most people just are not able to do it. Um, Getting into the next thing, like I said, we're gonna go and end off here in a minute. But first of all, do you have any other things that you thought about, or you've been locked in?
It's been locked in. Just
Fair
been
enough.
trying to
Okay.
take the topics, you know.
Okay, for sure. So, in order to garner the respect of people, how to gain the respect of people, you must be able to lay down a foundational boundaries when you feel they're necessary, right? This is kind of going back to the thing that I mentioned earlier with just, you saying no and things like that, but this is going to go a little bit deeper, right? A person that a person that is worthy of respect is somebody who truly stands on something and has boundaries. And also when people step on those specific boundaries, they're able to truly, correct course, maybe put them in their place if they need to be put in their place or whatever it is. But ultimately, what it comes down to is this: the people that are going to be the most respectable are going to be those people that have those boundaries. And also, like I had mentioned, the people who get disrespected are truly those who have never even thought about applying those boundaries at all. Do you have anything to say to that?
I think you basically put everything on the spot.
All right,
I
sounds
was
good.
gonna, it's just clean
Sounds
slate.
good. Sounds good. Let me read this comment. Even if you have no idea what you're talking about, if you speak in a matter that expresses confidence and substance, people will listen. He's exactly right.
That's true. That's very
Exactly
true.
right. Even if you're talking bullshit, as long as you're able to do it in a confident manner and being fluent with your speech, people are going to listen. He's exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I
You
remember.
couldn't have said it any better.
I remember because that's exactly the reason why. Like I remember, um, like in high school, like I was just talking to girls, man. But like at first it wasn't going good because I would always just stutter and like they just didn't like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I remember when I was a senior though, it was way better. Like I would always just like go up to girls and just like talk, but like not even like on some like asking out type stuff. Just like talk to them. Like I was just way better with my words, and I was just more. It flowed better. So like that's how I would say it, even though I didn't know what I was talking about. Like it's like they still listen and they still like took what I say. What do you say?
He goes, I've been waiting for someone to cross my boundaries for a fat minute. I want all the smoke. He said, yes, sir, Anthony. You already know what time it is, man. But like I said, that is gonna be part of a person that is truly respectable. Like I said, if somebody's standing on a boundary that you've upheld, you're able to do and act as you should in those specific moments. Like I said, the people who are not truly worthy of respect are the people that fail to have those boundaries. They let people walk all over them. They become a yes man. They're unwilling to say no, and they do it with the false virtue of actually just trying to appease everybody else. When in reality, they're breaking down their own character at the end of the day, and that's the last thing you want to do. The last thing you want to do is sacrifice yourself for the appeasement of others, right? You never want to do that, and you want to avoid that as much as you possibly can. And like I said, those people who truly do not get the respect that they feel like they deserve, that's going to be one of the elements that they do, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much all we have for today's podcast. Like I said, if you have any specific comments or questions, I want you to go and leave it in the comments. We're gonna go ahead and end it off here in about like I'll give you all about 5 minutes. KJ, do you have anything you want to say?
I got something to say for the last minute.
Okay. Do
That's
you
all I
want?
got.
Are you gonna save it right now? Or are you gonna say? Are you
No,
gonna say
I'm
it right
gonna
now?
say it right now. I'm gonna say it.
All right, go
So
ahead.
basically, all I just have to say is put in the work. You know what I'm saying? You'll get this right. Put in the work in deeply. You know what I'm saying? Grind 24/7. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
ODing on it. You're
Another
ODing on it.
another thing I also have to say is if you want it that bad, you will do anything to get it. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing I just live by. Like for real. I'm being honest.
That's pretty
Like that's
factual.
that's another thing. Like if you really want it that bad, whatever it is that you guys are going for, you gotta just go, whatever that may be. Even though you might be insecure about it at first. You might just be, um, you might be just caught up into what the society has to say, or like maybe people, going down on you, like just not believing in you. Just block it out, man, and just keep going. It might be like it's not as easy as it thinks. It's not as easy as it looks, but just keep going, keep going.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's good words, KJ. Good words for the people, man. Of course. But yeah, like I said, one thing I want to mention as well, whether you're watching this or watching this live, I want you to go ahead and leave a question. Like I said, I will be answering all the comments. Like I said, even after the fact of this podcast, if you have any questions about like anything regarding today's topic, man, I'll be able to answer that very very thoroughly in the comments. But yeah, I would say we said everything that I think we wanted to say for today's podcast. I'm trying to see if I can give you guys some last second nuggets of wisdom with the respect thing. But ultimately, I think ultimately what it comes down to, if I had to wrap it all up, the only way that you're going to be able to get the respect from other people is if you truly respect yourself enough to take the time to do and edit any of your flaws. Like I said, whether it's like I said, maybe your physical appearance, maybe it's your ability to conduct yourself in a manner that is respectable with boundaries and things like that. If you're unable to do this, and if you're unable to give the respect, the own self-respect that you feel like you deserve, then people are not going to respect you. People only respect people that respect themselves first. I'm going to say that very, very thoroughly. I want to say that one more time. People only respect people who first respect themselves enough to actually take the time to do whatever they need to do to become a respectable individual. Like that's ultimately what it comes down to. Hold up. People don't understand that if you say yes when you mean no, then you're saying no to yourself. Exactly. He's exactly right. Like I said. And the people who are the most respectable, do you think they do exactly that? Of course they don't. They don't say yes to appease people, right? If they know exactly when to say no, and they know exactly how to say no as well, which is very, very important as well. But yeah, if you're compromising yourself for the appeasement of other people, you're not respecting yourself. So therefore, how could you ever expect anybody to respect you if you're not respecting yourself? I would say that ultimately wraps everything up. KJ, what do you say about that?
After you took the words right out of my mouth, man. Like this dude, he said it all, man. He's like match it like this, clockwork.
Yes, sir. We locked in. Come on now. Other than that, yeah. So this was episode 136 of the Life of Champ podcast, talking about how to gain the respect of other people. And let me read more comment. Bro, speaking facts, because why should I respect you when you don't even respect you? Exactly right. He's exactly right on that. Come on now. Simple. Like I said, said it perfectly. And then for the podcast motto, KJ, go ahead and let the people know the podcast motto, man.
I'm saying we just don't work out here. All motherfuckers, we outwork.
Come on now. Yes, sir. Fellas out here, man, we don't just work around here, man. We outwork. So make sure I work these motherfuckers because you know that we are. Come on now. You already know what time it is, man. Go. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, tap in with the next music live stream. I'll be having one on Monday, so make sure to tap in with that for sure. And other than that, man, do I have anything else I want to say? Just make sure y'all working these motherfuckers. Like I said, KJ, that man, you already know what time it is with him, man. Come on now. Y'all have a good night. And like I said, stay tuned for the podcast on Tuesday as well, man. Any last words to the people?
Have a good night. KJ23. We out.
Yes, peace. Sir. Yes, sir. Hey, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. Like I said, the link's in the description. Tap in with that for sure. Y'all have a good night, man.